Emporium. In the Philippines, I want to say magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat. And for the people in the US watching this live at the Emporium, good evening, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to at least check it out. Check us out. Emporium is a unique US-based, the first of its kind. Okay, the first of its kind. It's a Philippine-made and inspired product showroom and global business center. And its purpose is to create awareness as well as sales opportunities for Philippine-made products, services, and investments in the US market. And Emporium is actually a physical place. Like I said, that's where I'm at right now. It's located at 3250 Wilshire Boulevard, number 602 in Los Angeles, California. So if you want to come and visit, please do so. We welcome you. Just go ahead and let us know when you're coming. Thank you. But what the Live Emporium is, this is one of the tools that we use to create the awareness, the sales opportunities by people watching, and hopefully organically, or what we're doing on social media is reaching other people. And I think it is. At the end of the day, what we want is that awareness creation. Okay, so that's what Live at the Emporium is. And today it is packed full of amazing stuff. I just want to say, well, the title of the show or the episode today is called How to Source, Ship, and Sell Philippine-Made Products in the U.S. market for 2023. And just in case you guys didn't know what you're going to be watching today, hello everyone. My name is Ferdinand Soriano, and I am the host of Live at the Emporium. And I'd just like to go ahead and properly welcome all of you. I want to say magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat sa Pilipinas, as well as good afternoon or good evening here in the U.S., especially in Southern California, all the way to East Coast, because I know I have a guest right now. I'm very happy that she's able to be with us today. So I want to say hello to Mary Jane, Mr. MJ, who's going to be in the show today, and she's all the way in New York. So with that being said, for those who've never watched an episode of Live at the Emporium, I think this is our 24th episode now. Let me just give you a quick background of what Emporium is. First, Emporium is the first of its kind, US-based, Philippine-made product, or I should say Philippine-made and inspired product showroom and global business center. And its main purpose, simply put, it's to create awareness, but not just awareness. You could do that all day long, but you need to, we're trying to create sales opportunities for Philippine-made products, services, and investments in the U.S. market. And that's what's really, truly important. So you can look at Emporium as sort of a hub for what we're trying to do and trying to create awareness for all the different things that all the Philippines finest, what it has to offer when it comes to services, like I said, investments and also products. Okay, so I told you what Emporium is. Now, what is Live at the Emporium? And Live at the Emporium, that's how we create this awareness and hopefully sales opportunities. Because what it is we do live selling. We normally do that, but this is a special edition of Live at the Emporium where this is a sort of a different format. We normally do live selling, we do business matchmaking, we do vendor spotlight. Okay, but since it's the end of the year, almost kind of thing going on, I sort of want to bring back a lot of people and just have a discussion how to prep yourself if you're thinking about promoting your product in the U.S. market, or just looking for products for your online businesses here in the U.S. This is a discussion that I want to have with some of the people that I've enjoyed getting to know in 2022, because they all have the same mindset. They all have the same passion to create this awareness and sales opportunities for Philippine-made products. So depending on who's actually lined up already, and I think there's already a couple, I'm excited for them to be here. So I'm not going to be all formal about who they are. I just want to bring them in because at the end of the day, we are going to be talking about all the different things in our perspective on how to source, ship, and as well as sell products in the Philippine products in the U.S. market. I'm going to talk a little bit about sourcing, but I want to go ahead and bring them in. So it's like, let's have a party, basically. But for all those who are currently watching, I want to know, well, the location of the showroom is 3250 Wilshire Boulevard, and it's in the city of Los Angeles, and it's Suite 602. Los Angeles, California, 90010. Why am I telling you that, right? I mean, so specific. I really want you to visit it. You know, Emporium is in back of me. This is just like a third of what Emporium is, what you see in back of me. And this is not a green, you know, like a background, you know, for a green screen. No, I'm actually here in the Philippine Department of Trade office, because that's where the Emporium is actually housed. So, with that being said, today's you know, like I told you, we're here in LA. So I want to know, where are you watching this from? Are you in the Philippines? Are you in Davao, Ilocos Norte, Cavite, Pangasinan, Metro Manila? Please let me know where you're at, and if you're promoting a business, go ahead and I'll put it in the broadcast here and tell everybody who's watching. And if you're in the U.S., please tell me where you're calling from, because I know that in Facebook today, when I posted a lot of things, they said they were going to go watch it. Some of them are probably going to be in the Southern California area. Please let me know where you're at. And so far, I haven't have anything yet. Let me see. It looks like we got a lot of people already backstage, and thank you so much. I thought I'm going to have to do a monologue all by myself. So let me go ahead and bring them up slowly in terms of who's going to be here, and we can start the discussion, okay? So first, I want to go ahead and bring up a lady who I met. I mean, I finally got to meet her maybe 3 weeks ago. She came down from New York, and I'm excited to have her here and join the discussion, okay? And she actually owns a company called Chibundle in New York, and she does all these amazing Philippine-made products, curated, mostly food products, I think, but I think she's venturing out into other things. So let me go ahead and bring her out now, and then I'll bring all of them up slowly, okay? Hey, MJ. MJ, can you hear me?
Hey, Ferdy, what's up? Good to see you again. Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. So you know, what we're going to do is we're going to bring a lot of people. So we just have this open discussion about sourcing, shipping, and selling. So I hope you're going to be able to, you know, give us a little bit of your feedback or experience about the whole topic. But we're going to focus on sourcing first, and then shipping, and then selling, okay?
All right. Happy to contribute to today's discussion.
Let me go ahead and bring up the other gentleman. His name is, now this other gentleman that I want to bring up, his wife Ava they have an amazing company in Florida. I'm going to let him describe what that company is about. But you know what, MJ? I'm rude. I'm sorry. Go ahead and talk about Chibundle right away before I get to Nat. Go ahead. Please do that.
Well, you kind of started me on that in introducing Chibundle. But Chibundle basically, so what I do is that you know, it's a purveyor of specialty goods from the Philippines, as well as handcrafted goods, and it's also a curator of gift boxes that, you know, I retail on our e-commerce website. I also do a lot of pop-ups here in the U.S., particularly in New York City, and I've been doing this since late 2018. And you know, I love just connecting with different entrepreneurs from the Philippines, especially our MSMEs, because Chibundle is very much focused on emerging brands that are coming from MSMEs, direct to farm trade enterprises, as well as as well as social enterprises. So I guess, like, as a business, Chibundle really offers like very unique products because of that mission. A lot of the products you'll see, you won't find in, you know, the grocery stores. At the same time, the whole point is to hopefully create some sustainable impact to the Philippines in terms of supporting our entrepreneurs out there, as well as, you know, creating these next sets of household names in the future.
Perfect. You know, thank you. I reached out to you originally because I was actually admiring what you're doing in New York, and I was also recommended to you by one of the suppliers that we deal with, and she turned me on to you, so to speak, as far as the type of products that you were doing. So I'm just glad that you were that type, you know, have that mindset of collaborating, and I appreciate that, MJ.
Great. Yeah, it's been, you know, really you know, rewarding to be, you know, connected with you, and also working with again, the different entrepreneurs that we have in the Philippines, because of so much great stuff out there that I really want to bring into the US.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, is incite more of people wanting to do more stuff, you know. And you're going to be in New York, and I'm looking forward to getting more of your feedback, as well as working with you in the near future, especially, you know, having sort of a connection with someone in New York. So let me go ahead and introduce the other people. Just chill, I guess, for a little bit until I bring everybody up. Okay, MJ, thank you.
All right.
Nat. Hey, Nat,
Hey,
buddy.
Ray, how are you? So glad to be back. Hi, I'm
Nat,
Nat Flores, and yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, Nat, he's a e-commerce player in Florida. I'll just leave it at that, and I'll let him introduce himself, briefly, and then what he's gonna bring to the table is under the category of how to sell Philippine products in 2023.
Not yet. So, like I said, I'm Nat Flores, and we're in e-commerce for since 2016, and we started in Amazon, and we heavily leverage the Amazon marketplace. And from that, like for people that we don't know our background, we started as a side hustle selling on Amazon, and now we diversified our business, and now we have a warehouse fulfillment center here in Florida. Uh,
Well,
and glad to talk about how to sell your products on Amazon, Philippine-made products in Amazon later on.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to each one and get your perspective on how everything is being sold, and that's why with Nate, he's all about online or e-commerce as well as any other selling platform like Amazon, Shopify, eBay, and things of that nature. So hey, Nat, just sit tight, and then let me go ahead and introduce everybody else, and then we can all have this roundtable discussion, so to speak. Okay, so let me go ahead and introduce everybody else. I'm going to put you on mute real quick. All right, so the next one, the next individual that I like to introduce to everyone is that she is in Las Vegas. I got to know her because she's also very passionate about selling Philippine-made products in the U.S. And she has this cute, charming little store there that she calls it the Orient Pearl Asian Market. And when we connected over social media, I was excited to do that because now we possibly could collaborate and have some of the products that are currently in Emporium to be there and have sort of a connection like that in terms of promoting up and coming products. And without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce her and let her introduce herself and what she's about to, what she brings to the table, so to speak, because it's more like she has a retail store, so she can give firsthand experience or feedback on what people are looking for. So let me go ahead and introduce her, and I think she's there.
I'm here.
Are you there? Hey,
Yeah.
Ann.
Hi.
Ann, are you there? Okay, so you're playing Ghost, huh? I got it.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself, Ann. So this way I sort of introduce you to everybody else. So tell them a little bit about your store and how did we, connect as far as what you want to do for Philippine-made products.
Okay. First of all, thank you for inviting me here. It's such an honor to collaborate with you guys. My name is Anne. I own a small mid-sized retail grocery store here in Las Vegas. The store has been existing for 16 years, and I've been an avid customer for the longest time. Recently graduated my master's in urban leadership, and I just really wanted to bring back, be a part of bringing the community together. One of the opportunities that was presented to me was acquiring the Asian retail store last year. So to date, we have acquired it for a year and a half. My vision for the store is to sort of pieces of what you guys have already been doing. Be a hub for Philippine sourced product, not only Philippine but Asian sourced products, because my store is multi. It's not just a Filipino store. It has several other Asian commodities in there. So I want it to be a hub for those products, and also just promote the in the Philippines we have many resources of creativity, natural resources, and talent. I just really want to showcase that here and bring the community together. So there.
To me, what made you special in terms of me reaching out to you is because not only do you have heart just like everybody else in the current lineup of people, but you also have a physical store. A lot of times that's what we're trying to preach about Emporium, because at the end of the day you can talk about social media about the products all day long, but people have to have a place where they can experience the product. And
Yeah.
what we spoke, you wanted to encourage up and coming brands, not just
Yes.
the two already. I mean, you're still going to sell them in your store, but to you also wanted to lean into up and coming brands, new brands.
Yes.
You really, be unique about.
I want to be a part of their growth. I'm excited about the purpose-driven entrepreneurship that the emPHorium is fostering. You know,
I'm all for that. I really believe in trying to create this ecosystem. So, Anne, what I'm going to do is I'm going to please sit tight, and then just when we get into the discussion, I'm going to go right back at you and ask your feedback on the different topics that we're talking about today. Okay.
sure. Thank you.
And also, I want to introduce the next guest or the speakers, where we're just having a friendly discussion. He's a social media motivator. He's into direct selling. He is called Coach Sal. So let me go ahead and see if he's in. Let me introduce Sal Jimoan. Sal, are you there? Maybe not.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Sal, yeah, hey, man.
Let me turn on my light. All right, there we go.
There you go.
All right, here we go. Picking up my wife.
He's always on the move. That's why he's like that. He's always doing things he's in Las Vegas also, with Ann also, but not with Ann, but also in Las Vegas. So Sal, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself. And then, again, our topic today is sourcing, shipping, and selling. So go ahead and talk a little bit about yourself, Sal.
Awesome. Well, thanks. Always, I just want to say thank you for always giving me a chance to just kind of share my story and inspire other people on what I have experienced, and maybe through my experience and my story can help other people too. I've doubled around my experience in social media marketing when we moved to Las Vegas. And I was driving around as an Uber driver. So my friend called me the Uber dad because, I like to make videos and to tell story about what's going on in Las Vegas. But that kind of, shifted to when I bought a course of social media marketing type of thing. And I said, all right, cool. I needed to make some extra money as a Uber driver because I didn't really want to spend that much time driving as an Uber driver. And I said, it's gotta be a way for me. I can utilize my social media to reach and build an audience. So basically, I followed the social media training that I bought, and it clicked. Me being on the road, telling a story, found a great product, and it really helped me build an audience. And then from that, I learned where I can, if it's used properly, social media, you can build an audience of people that will follow your story, and they give you the opportunity, to share with them what kind of product that you're working with. And a lot of times, here's what I learned. The Filipinos, they like to side hustle. They like to sell alahas, pinto, something. But you can have the best product if people don't know what you got. Then how they're gonna buy from you, right? So from there, it's just it became my passion just to kind of share people what works for me as a social media marketer. And I believe if people find their passion, and you are the hub, people just need to find what you got there, Ferdinand, and people just need to, learn how to use social media properly and tell their stories. I tell people, if you can tell a story, people will buy, because people, there's this saying that, people, story sells, information tells, right? So for me, I move product through telling stories on social media, but there's a caveat in there. You have to do it properly. Otherwise, instead of attracting people, you will shy people away because you keep telling the same, you become like a friend that goes to a birthday party trying to sell them products. Back to you, Ferdy.
I agree, man. And if you guys want to see him in action, again, it's Sal, S-A-L, and then it's Jumawan. He does all these morning motivation ideas, and where that's when you should do it. Technically, a lot of my ideas come in the morning, and he does that. Does a lot of posting on Facebook. So go ahead and check him out. Now, thank you for that, Sal. Let me go ahead and move on to the next guest. Let me go ahead and bring up the lady who's in charge of helping us out in trying to create more opportunities for Philippine-made products. What I mean by that is bringing the products here in the US in a sample form, right? So let me go ahead and bring up Nancy Marquez from RAF Express. What's up,
Good morning.
Nancy?
Good morning, Ferdinand. Hello,
Oh,
everyone.
there you go.
Magandang umaga from the Philippines. I am Nancy Marquez. I am with RAF International, and we've been collaborating with Ferdinand here to bring the things that are uniquely Filipino to the United States. And we are excited for 2023 for bringing more products to you. That's from the Negros. I think that's from the Negros. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yep. Good to meet everybody.
Nancy, we're going to count on you to give perspective when we talk about shipping. Okay, what's the best way to do that, and how do people normally start? Especially, let's all focus on somebody starting out for the very first time, or that person who's so successful already in the Philippines, but not quite ready for the U.S. because they. So when you guys are talking, always focus on that profile, because those are the people that really want to elevate and also empower. To how do you give them baby steps? Because I think in 2023 it's going to be crucial that more than anything, with every negative thing that you might be hearing, I think it's still a great opportunity to move forward, but baby steps, more like strategic and purposeful steps, and it can be carried out by people that you trust and people that know a lot of things, and hopefully in this ecosystem that we're trying to build under the brand emPHorium, that's exactly what I'm hoping that the people that watching us will get out of it. Let me go ahead and bring up the next guest. This gentleman, I've known him, I think it's 2016 or 17. I've been talking this morning, and I didn't realize how far he's gone in his journey in promoting different types of brands. But I think if I had to put a percentage, I think a lot of his brands are, from the Philippines also. So I think maybe I want to say 30 to 40% of he's a brand manager, and his name is Mike Pistano. Let me go ahead and bring him up. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Ferdinand. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Thanks for having me.
No problem, my friend. I'm going to give you this opportunity to go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you do and how amazing you are as a brand manager, sir.
Thank you. So basically, I've been in the health and wellness industry in both wholesale, manufacturing, and retail for over 3 decades. Previously, I was with GNC as a regional sales director in Canada, and then as a corporate training manager for franchisees. And then I started my independent journey actually in 2007, working with professional supplement brands in the integrative medical professional market here in Southern California. And then I started branching out into bigger brands and getting them basically into like Whole Foods, Walmart, Kroger, CVS. And what I do is work with companies that are ready to make that next big step, which is the US mainstream market. Now, a lot of people have dreams, like not just from the Philippines, but just to get into the United States. Mainstream retail and distribution is a big undertaking and a big achievement. But before that happens, what I do is I look at a brand, and I look at the labeling, I look at their digital content, I look at their print content, I look at their social media, and I ask them, like, what is your budget? Because getting into the US market in the mainstream, okay, I'm not talking about the mom and pop stores or that. I'm talking about like all the big name retailers you're familiar with. That's what I work with. I liaise and work with the buyers and the distributors, and I analyze the brand's pricing. I analyze the brand's pricing from the supply level all the way to, like, can it accommodate the margins that let's say, a distributor like UNFI would need. But before that happens, like I do a comprehensive analysis, like people, so they companies that hire me, basically, it's a long-term journey. It's some companies may take several years just to really get into the U.S. retail mainstream market. So in the meantime, what I tell a brand is like, while you are busy building your U.S. presence, uh, you would be best served now, especially in today's day and age, is to do direct to consumer online. Develop your own customer base, and that's where everything is headed anyway. Because, like for example, like stores like Walmart and Kroger, they're actually very active digitally, meaning that they are driving their customer base in the stores to order online. So there are products that they will carry online first, and if it does well, then it goes to their thousands of stores. So that's what I work with. I liaise between buyers, suppliers. I work with the FDA. I look at what a brand needs in order to satisfy FDA requirements. I'm not an FDA specialist, but I do know, for Canada and the US, what brands will need before they can even venture into the market. Before you venture into the market, you have to be prepared for everything. Okay, your supply chain, your pricing, your inventory, and knowing who your demographic market is. So that's what I work with, and people and companies hire me to do that for them. And I am very active on LinkedIn. On Facebook, it's mostly like what I do is just share information about health and wellness. But in terms of the nitty gritty stuff, like you have seen me do, is it's really expanded now into working with these big box stores.
That's perfect. I mean, I think what I am gathering so far with everybody's experiences, everybody has a certain perspective on how to promote Philippine products. Like I said, for all those watching, you're seeing varying degrees of style of promoting Philippine-made products. They do exist. Everybody has a different way of doing it. Everybody's effective in their own way. And to me, when I invited everyone here currently that you're watching, all of them have, sort of touch on everything that I just said about sourcing, shipping, and selling. They all have that experience. Each one will probably lean more into a particular S, the sourcing, shipping, and selling. But at the end of the day, each one of them has that experience. So I'm just glad that all of them are able to show up. And then my last but not least, expert, at least in my opinion, or a really amazing collaborator. She's the CEO of a company called Global Business Impact. Her specialty really is events like pop-up events, and I'll let her explain it to you exactly what I mean by that. And this is another style of Philippine-made. So let me go ahead and introduce May Cruz, Global Business Impact. Hi, May.
Hello, Ferdinand. Hello, everyone. Hi, Nancy. The
Hello
rest of the
there.
group.
So just go ahead and tell us a little bit about Global Business Impact, and then I want to tell everybody too that you have been instrumental in creating a lot of the masterclass series and the aspect of us educating the Philippine manufacturers. So go ahead and really tell us a little bit about what you do today, and then we can get the whole thing started as far as the discussion, starting off with sourcing.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thanks again, Ferdinand, for inviting me in this discussion today. Yeah, Global Business Impact started as a um, consulting company, consulting business for uh, companies who want to really market their products here in the US. And also, I started with helping companies here already in the US, Philippine owned, to market their brands like TFC before Smart Philippines. So but now I'm focusing on collaborating with Ferdinand, helping unique Philippine exportable products in the Philippines to be marketed here in the US through the Emporium showroom, and us, everybody here who's helping all those companies to be marketed here. And especially in doing the hybrid pop-up events that we did last year, um, and this year with master classes that we're doing also here with the Emporium with Ferdinand. So yeah, um, that and many other collaborations with Ferdinand that we're doing, but mostly doing special events or pop-up events and master classes for the Emporium. So yeah.
I'm going to say that you guys are what drives me. I mean, I'm going to get a little corny, okay? Because there are times when doing what we're doing on this journey is tiring. And a lot of times people don't see the work that's put in to create the awareness. But I'm again invigorated because all of you have the same goal. And that's the thing that I loved, and that's why I had this idea to bring all of you on board for this particular segment to go ahead and give us your perspective. And what I'm trying to lead into now is that let's talk about the first S that I told everybody that we're watching. I mean, before we do that though, I want to go ahead and acknowledge a couple of people. I want to welcome. I mean, November. I got your products. If you're watching, I got your home organic Plantsville cocoa sugar cinnamon cocoa sugar. I want to also go ahead and acknowledge Teresa Mariel Manalansan from Pampanga, Philippines. Also, I want to go ahead and I'm assuming this is Alan. He says hi, Bob, and he's talking about MG. He's talking to MJ. Both of you are seeing products get around in the U.S. Hope to do more collabs. That's one. And also, I want to say hello to CJ Olaguera from the Bay Area. And again, if you're watching and you're being bashful, please don't. This way, we get an idea of who we're watching. And if you even want to be in the studio right now, send me an email. And I'll get you an invite, and you can even participate, because this is about a discussion. This is about a discussion about 2023. This is a discussion about sourcing, shipping, and selling Philippine-made products. So let's go ahead and start the conversation. First, for the topic of sourcing. I think what I'm focused on is the person who wants to export their products, the one who is excited to know that they want to expand their market. They may not have a lot of budget yet, but they truly believe in their product. Okay, and that's the person I'm trying to keep in my mind. And then also the person who wants to start a business here in the U.S. with Philippine products, and also obviously I'm not going to forget any potential enterprise or corporate buyers that may be interested in buying something for their company. So with that being said, let me go ahead and talk a little bit about sourcing. Now, if you're interested in sourcing products from the Philippines, there are many sources you could do that to get it started. Okay, so let me just kind of rattle off a couple of things. If I were sourcing for the first time, the most basic thing that I would do for all those people who are watching and want to do this, you call the Philippine Association, whichever product you're thinking about doing, right? I mean, you can't say, well, what product's out there? That's too vast. So for you to say, what product or sell, that's really going to be up to you. You could use Amazon, and maybe even Nat could give you a little bit of an idea. Nat, and anybody who wants to chime in what I'm saying, go ahead. I don't mind being interrupted by the people that are currently in there. Okay, so let me go ahead and say my piece when it comes to guys. Don't be shy. Go ahead and jump in and tell me what, if you want to add on more to it. Now,
Yeah. So thank you, Ferdy. So if you want to sell products if you want to start selling products in like anywhere, right? Brick or mortar or offline or retail. The good thing about Amazon is you could check, like it's not a gut feeling, but you have the data. You could collect the data from Amazon and like the keywords, the estimated monthly revenue. You could collect those data and start, like if you have an idea in mind, like, oh, I wanted to sell like a bag, right? Like made of abaca bag. You could search that data on Amazon and search the keyword, like estimate, like what is on the similar product, what is the revenue of that product monthly or annually, and then from there you have an idea, like if you wanted to pursue that product or not. So it saves you time and effort and research. That's why we are heavily on Amazon, because we're talking about data.
That's what I'm saying, and that's my point. When I'm talking to somebody like that, that's my thought process right away. So I'm gonna piggyback on that and continue with the sources. So let's just say you wanted Abaca bag, right? So if you want to source out an Abaca bag, some of the government entities that you could go ahead and look up to or Google them if you want is the Department of Trade. That's common, right? I mean, everybody knows that. There's a department called Philippine Economic Zone Authority. They would have sources also of products that you could source. There's a website that the Philippines has, a DTI, I think it's called Tradeline Philippines, that is almost like a sourcing engine for them. That I suggest if you're thinking about doing that, go ahead and look them up and look up that website. And then also Phil Export, the Export Marketing Bureau, also CITEM, which is the Center for International Trade Exposition and Mission. These are government entities that could give you some sort of a guidance on where to go look for that Abaca. Thank you for starting that off. And then also the one thing that I also want to go ahead and convey to everyone who's sourcing is that go call or reach out to the provincial government in the Philippines. They can guide you to their local manufacturers of product. I had a gentleman by the name of Ralph Santos who was sourcing a Banig bag, who's now featured in Instagram. A lot of people are buying this thing, and he just basically we just reached out to a local government unit in the Philippines, provincial government, and they were able to give us somebody who made that. And then also pretty much that and the stuff that you need to know when you're doing a basic research, or rather you want to source products, is that research your product, just like Matt said. Contact that supplier and request for a quote and a request for a proposal. They'll do that all day long. But everybody has a different style, okay? So sometimes help a little bit, ease it up a bit. Ask for samples. They're willing to give you samples. Some companies will definitely have some sort of policy, whether you pay for the shipping, they pay for the shipping. It all depends on the product. As for me, there's been times when I just told them that if they want to send their products here, emPHorium, that's what they do. They usually pay for the shipping, and that's why I'm trying to have emPHorium as sort of a hub for them. And then a trial run order, you could do that. Everybody is open to that. Just to some companies are hard about trying to make sure that you get the minimum order, but if they're a first-time exporter and they really just want to get their products out there, they'll work with you. And I really believe that. So if you're out there looking for a product, that's something that you might want to consider. And then also that from there, after that, then you evaluate the supplier. Now, these are all basic. We could do a whole seminar on just sourcing alone, but I'm not here just to talk to myself. I'm here to have this discussion with everybody else. So with that being said, guys, does anybody have any experience or any nugget of wisdom that you could share regarding your best experience with sourcing in the Philippines, good or bad? So, kind of watch out for, or what to do. Does anybody want to chime in? I mean, I know you can't raise your hand, so to speak, but go ahead and let me know.
Well, I can share you a success story from a company that was owned by a friend of mine from high school, and they started off here in California about 10 years ago, and it's basically in the coconut oil industry. And basically what happened was they were launching these coconut wraps and trying to get it into the retail market. Through that journey, while they were busy building that pipeline, they were actually approached by a major retailer for private labeling. So here's something to think about. If you're a manufacturer, are you focused on just your own brand, or are you willing to get in some good revenue from private labeling? So for example, they actually got to do private labeling for Trader Joe's and for Sprouts. And those buyers are actually, with the way things are headed right now, companies like Whole Foods and Sprouts are into building their own brands. So they will source raw materials, let's say from the Philippines. So like they need coconut oil, they look for coconut oil, coconut water, coconut powder. So that's a tip that I wanted to share with you guys, is like, if you're a manufacturer, and you have the raw materials, right? Don't get too enamored with your own brand and, miss chances. Because like if you're into Trader Joe's, who cares, right? You're getting all into the Trader Joe's. You're getting all into Whole Foods. So that's something you want to keep in mind when you get approached by these buyers that they are going to look for private label opportunities.
I appreciate that, Mike, because that is true. As long as your mind is make money, create livelihood, not to say that everybody has an ego, but I always just think, why wouldn't you want a private label? But everybody has sort of a grand scheme of how they want to create their brand. So I appreciate that. So
Yes.
let me go ahead and ask anybody else that might want to chime in. So MJ, how about you? Have you had any experience, good or bad, about sourcing products from the Philippines?
I think generally my experience sourcing in the Philippines has been good. So I used to go to all of the trade fairs, basically, that are held in the SMX or at the Mega Trade Hall, and even at the DTI store, the Go Local store in Bandia. So I used to go to all those things, and it's really rewarding to go to those things because you really get to meet the people behind the products. So it's not just about the viability of the product in the market, that because you get to see and taste and feel the products. You get a sense of how the people are behind the brand, and that kind of also gives you the vibe generally on what's it going to be like working with them, and that informs you on how to proceed and like how can you have a partnership happen. And I think on the government side, besides the DTI Go Local store, the Department of Agriculture in Quezon Memorial Circle, thereabouts, also has a showroom for a lot of the MSME emerging brands. So they also, you can go to them and they also help out these brands to go out into the market. So generally, it's been very supportive, I would say. And there's really a lot of diversity among the entrepreneurs and the brands that I have encountered in the trade fairs.
Appreciate that, because it's true though. Relationship is everything, especially when you're, even though MJ, I know you're Filipino, right? But at the same time, that relationship really makes the whole thing, especially in the first few orders, a little bit more palatable. Learn how to give and take a little bit, because at the end, a lot of the Philippine manufacturers, I know for a fact, at least the ones that I've dealt with, they're willing to work with you. Obviously, some are more strict about certain things, whether it be samples or the minimum order. But most of the time, I find that a lot of them want to deal. They want to make something happen too, and they're always just watching the bottom line. They know that I've told. From a consulting standpoint, a lot of them, they're not going to make their money on their first order. Their goal is just to get into the market and not lose money and make a little bit of money. And that's what I'm always trying to preach, because at the end of the day, and where that relationship comes in is like your style. That's the best to do that. So thank you for that, MJ. But let me go ahead and ask Nat, because I know that you've sourced products from the Philippines. So that'll be the last question for the topic of sourcing. But let me go ahead and ask Nat. Nat, how about you? Good or bad in regards to sourcing? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, there's some challenges, especially for if you're starting like us. Our journey, we started wholesaling and distributing products that's made in the US or other countries, and then when we explore Philippine market, the Philippine-made product, we have a successful products that we launched in Amazon from the Philippines. It's a corn coffee, and the challenge that we have is the shipping, right? So we wanted to mitigate our risk by supplying by producing as minimum as we can. But the problem is, the challenge is like the packaging. The packaging, it's hard to find the packaging in the Philippines to that cater for a small quantity, right? And then the shipping, like DHL. I didn't know the rough, right? That before I knew this, so we haven't contacted them. But DHL, like a small package. But the thing is, like I said, like when it compares to profit and how much we source in the Philippines, we're still making good profit, right? But the thing is, the lead time, that's the problem, because, and especially if you don't have like big enough capital and you wanted to start your brand. But for the people that, for a manufacturer or brand that already successful in the Philippines, I think the only issues that you're gonna be deal with and the challenge is the shipping. But you have a you have a collaboration with the shipping company, and when it's come here in the US, like Amazon, like Bong said, there are compliance, safety standards, and when you put that in Amazon, all those requirements, you need those requirements, and they would tell you what standards that you need to comply. So basically, once your product will ship in here, you could put in Amazon, run an advertising inside the Amazon, and like I said, we have a successful launch products in Amazon
Okay.
that
Now,
sourced in the Philippines.
what I got out of that was the sourcing was that you had your challenges in terms of once you did discover what product you want to use, you had issues with the shipping part, which is a good segue to our next part, right? But I just wanted to go ahead and cap that off, so to speak, the sourcing topic, where, like you said, you had your challenges, but at the end of the day, you're still making it work. And relationship, I'd like to think again, and the reason why you made it happen was because you were able to work with them in some way, right now, because of the relationship that you had with them.
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
Now, my segue is to the shipping. Now, this is a nasty little plug for Emporium, but the reality is that if you are watching this now and you want to start your own business, all of these people that you're watching are experts, and we work with them. So, with that being said, if you don't even want to go through all that gyration of finding a source or whatever, let Emporium help you do all that. Because at the end, what I found, if somebody didn't encourage me, I probably wouldn't have done this journey of sourcing products or helping Philippine made products. So to me, I would rather know that you have a place where you can go and get the help and encourage you to maybe start a business, because sourcing and all the three other S's can be challenging. And that's why we're just trying to give you the good and the bad of it. But if you're just excited about having an online business and you don't want to necessarily source, then that's what Emporium is all about. Let us know if we can help you with that. And all these other people are also going to be able to help you. So with that, second segment is now we did the first S, which is sourcing. Now shipping. I'm going to start off that conversation with none other than our resident expert on shipping and having these samples. Now, shipping, where I think a lot of people need to know is that they don't need to ship something like a 20-foot container right away, or a 40-foot container, even a pallet. That can be pretty expensive. But Nancy, let me start off with you. Tell us a little, focus on that first-time exporter, and what advice would you give them about shipping the product? And it's not about just shipping, also about being compliant once it comes out of the Philippines and into the U.S. soil.
Okay, so let's putting things in perspective. So you said that you have a first-time exporter or somebody who wants to try out their products in the U.S. market. So the more than likely they don't have the permits in place yet, or they're still working on those permits. Don't let that stop them from sending their sample products to the States, or for any because a small parcel can run you less than $5,000, less than $100. You can send your products to the States already, to Emporium for that matter, for your samples. For food products, a prior notice is filed with which is what U.S. requires, and that's taken care of by us. So we try to make it as convenient as possible for the would-be exporter to send their samples to the States, just to try it out. And for other products as well, if you're looking to send like Capiz products, there are those BFAR certifications that need to be sent, and that is something that is easily applied for here in the Philippines. So everything, all the products, and just long as, of course, it's compliant and it's not anything that's prohibited in the States. Anything liquid will require an MSDS. So those an MSDS, this is air freight by the way. That's if you more than likely you would have a budget to for your shipping costs, and if 5,000 or 10,000 is your budget, we can you can work with those numbers.
if 5,000 or 10,000 is your budget, we can work with those.
So with that being said, though, Nancy, there's a lot more to the shipping aspect. And I just want to go ahead and tell everybody that's watching that what she does is so complex to a certain degree. Obviously, she makes it sound like it's really easy, but that's what we're there for. When you start to want to export products from another country, from the Philippines to be more specific into the U.S., you're going to need to know certain things. You don't need to. You're not expected to know every doggone the compliance aspect. That's why you have people like Nancy, and I'm talking to the Philippine manufacturers right now, who will tell you what is required in the U.S. And if you don't, and if Nancy needs some supplemental information to be more specific, because obviously she's not just focused on U.S., even though technically it is a big market. We have other sources in Emporium that could help you as far as the compliance of that. But Nancy is always the person if you're a Philippine manufacturer trying to get your product to the U.S. and from the Philippines to the U.S. And then, but let me go ahead and ask also Nat, because he deals in shipping. Nat, have you had any sort of good experience or bad experience regarding shipping, and what did you learn from what you're doing now with Amazon Seller Pal?
So yeah, I mentioned a while ago, Ferdinand, the shipping is also that's what one of the challenge when we source products from the Philippines, because uh, I would rather pay somebody to do all those to tell to like to guide me or to tell us like, okay, I need this documentation, I need this supporting documents, and I would rather like have somebody doing it than if you're a seller or like us. It's a lot of work, and we're not good at that aspect. So yeah, and yeah, it was one of our challenge. And right, that's the and still a challenge right now with us because we could not easily send our inventory here in the U.S.
Well, that's why I wanted you to speak up a little bit about that, because at the end of the day, you're doing well with what you're doing, selling the products and creating it. But I know you have challenges with shipping. That's why I wanted you to meet also Nancy. So thank you for at least giving us that perspective of it. But the last question that person I want to ask regarding this subject matter is May Cruz. May, I know that you have done shipping, or when you first started Global Business Impact around that area, or at least even a little bit before that. I remember you celebrating products in the Philippines to here where you had issues, and now you become sort of an expert on your own about FDA, U.S. Customs, and things of that nature. So,
Mhm.
can you give me a little bit of taste of what happened at that time and what people in the Philippines should be aware of when it comes to shipping their products into the U.S.?
Oh, shipping to the US that time, because are you talking about the film expo that we had before? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we were like more than 100 exhibitors joining. I was still based there in the Philippines, and joining the event in here in LA at the LA Convention Center. So shipping by pallet per province was a bit difficult for us because we need to ship the products um, for like 3 months prior to the event. So we had to really complete all the paperworks. So getting the products from the Philippines to the US, all the different products that's there needs to have all the compliance documents, like what Nancy mentioned earlier, like the for the food products, prior notice and all that, USFDA and all that. And then for non-food products, we had products like peas products who already have permits or documents from the Philippines. I think before that's Bureau of Fisheries that they need the certification from for the Capiz lanterns that we brought in here in the US from the Philippines. We didn't know that once it's here in the US, during that time, we also have to secure the other permits that are needed for them to for us to be able to sell them on site at the event. So we were scrambling. It's good that we were here like a week before the event proper. We were able to um, get all the the documents um, for us to be able to display the products from the warehouse in Long Beach to the venue of the event. So that's very challenging. So you really have to complete all the documents coming out from the Philippines and then entering the US as well. Because if there's anything that you missed, you won't be able to get it out of the port, the warehouse, the port in Long Beach to be sold here in the US. So we were able to display the products on the day of the Phil-Am Expo already, but yeah, before opening. So that's kind of a challenge. So what the tip I can give to those who want to ship their products, especially if they're joining trade events here in the US to market their products. They really have to be sure to complete all the documents that are required for them to be able to sell here in the US first before doing anything.
Again, I want to reiterate that this is an hour going into an hour and a half because I love the topic, right? Because we still have
Mhm.
one more to talk about. But what May is basically saying, yes, it's it was challenging. That was a few years ago, but it's all about being connected with the right people, and that's
Mhm.
why one of the things that I love, not just because Emporium is something that we that with a couple of partners we put it together. I just find that you just need to get a little bit of a tidbit of enough to empower you, but not necessarily where you have to keep researching and researching and researching and you never do it. That's why you have people like a Nancy, among other freight forwarding and customs professionals that can help you. You just need to know enough so you know who the players are, and that's what we're trying to do with this event or with this live show. Is we're just trying to give you a perspective who the players are. You need to know who the players are so that when you're excited about your product being here or you're trying to bring products in, you're not you don't hit this wall and you don't know how to go around it, over it. Doggone it, if you have to go through it, then do it. So to me, that's what we're trying to do here, and there's a lot more to it. So you so far gotten a perspective on the good and the bad, and just being compliant. I guess just doing whatever needs to be done to get it going. So do your homework and consult with a lot of people that you find that are going to be trustworthy for you and also very knowledgeable. So with that being said, I want to end this segment or the whole live stream with asking each and every one of you guys to tell me about what works for you and how do you see what we need to do to create more opportunities for Philippine-made products. So I guess what I'm saying is that okay, you may be doing this style of promoting Philippine products. After you tell us what you do, how can we make it better? How can we talk to the people in the Philippines or here how to sell Philippine-made products, and how can manufacturers create more products that are more appealing and more universally appealing. So let me go ahead and start with Anne. I didn't get to talk to Anne, but Anne, whatever feedback you may have, like in your store, how are you promoting the products?
Hi, Sir Ferdy. Sorry, I didn't get the last part.
Oh no, what I'm saying is that we're in the segment now when it comes to we did the sourcing, shipping, and selling. So how
Okay.
do you sell the product? Like what can Philippine manufacturers do more to make the products more appealing, other than obviously you got to make it good?
Hmm. That's a good question. I'd say that I know that Philippine products they probably want to be unique and be set apart. But it's easier. It's easier for them to, I guess, penetrate the market if it's something that uh, if they would look some if they will, I guess, when it's more familiar, when it's not too extremely foreign to the customers. So, say coffee, if they're trying to market Barako coffee, what's uh what's um what's something that's existing in the market that they can compare that to?
Yeah,
So
because
that,
you're right. Like how do you make people comfortable with the product without
yes,
without alienating them? I mean, because when you hear the word Barako, obviously they have no idea what. But if you talk about Arabica, Robusta, all the different types of coffee,
yes,
then promote it in that regards, because from that perspective, a lot more people would be more apt to try it, and
correct.
I think that's what you're saying, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Thank you. I'm thank you.
Um, how about let's go ahead and start with, how about MJ? MJ, do you have anything that again, what is it about Philippine products that you love, and what could they do to make it better, and things that, like, any feedback like that, like how to sell it?
Yeah, I think like so I'm gonna echo what Anne said about that. Like it has to, like, especially for brands who really have the goal of wanting to be in the shelves at Whole Foods or the bigger retailers. Like the packaging has to be able to blend, not blend, like stand out, but still blend in terms of the quality. um, and like the packaging itself has to be strong enough to withstand travel. If it's getting exported from the Philippines and imported to the US, that's a long way. And like, it's going to be on a ship or, on an airline for weeks or months even. And your products have to be able to withstand, all the turbulence, all the change in temperatures and all that to maintain the integrity and the quality of the product. Um, and yeah, and once it gets here, it has to, be competitive against, all its other competitors. Like for example, with the coffee, right? It has to be unique enough that it tells you about the provenance of the coffee, where it's made at. Um, like it gives you an idea of the terroir and things like that. But at the same time, it has to be approachable for the people in the US to warm up to it, to at least be open to trying it out.
No, I agree again. And what differentiates in the way you're selling it is because you have an eye for certain products, and I like your style. Like I was telling you earlier, and I talked about this with Ann also, that you sell a lot of products there that I like to think it's unique, and you curate them really well, and you have a certain way of boxing them, putting them in the box, and they're nicely done, and they're competitively priced, but the products are, you wouldn't just find it like an Island Pacific or Seafood City, at least not the ones that you've shown me, and I didn't see them, and I love them. So I think being unique and having sort of a flair for the packaging, like you said, would help out a lot, right, MJ?
Yeah, definitely. But again, a big part of it is also like how to position the brand itself. Like for me as a retailer, and being the one that does the marketing for these products, through my retail channel, it's like the onus is on me on how to like present this to people. So to begin with, if the packaging isn't up to par with what I think the market would be, accommodating to, then it's not gonna work out, right? Like it has to have a particular look. And I can spin it. I can, like talk about it in all sorts of ways. But it has to be at least competitive, and approachable in the eyes of the market. Like, and that's like a very basic way to start.
Definitely, I completely. Now, a different style of selling the product or marketing the product. Let me go ahead and go to Sal Jimawan. Sal, tell me what, you're specifically focused on one particular product, or it's one of your products. So tell us about that aspect of it. Like what can Philippine-made products, what are ways that, you could give somebody in the Philippines making the products, whether it be doing it or just selling their brand, what would you give them? I mean, what would you tell them is what works for you as far as selling the product? Sal? Well, I'll get back to Sal. With that being said, let me go ahead and move on, and then I know Sal's probably going to jump in right in there, and I'm going to go ahead and ask him later. But let me go ahead and ask Nat. Nat, how about you? What is your? I know you do a lot of online. Okay, you do a lot of online selling. So, what has worked for you? And give us a brief some detail of what works for Amazon Seller Pal. What are the products that you're, selling really well?
Yeah, so we have a lot of products that we distribute that really selling well. So and the common denominator is like, I mean, your product should have, yeah, you have the data, but at the same time, like Sal said a while ago, your product should have also a story, right? So that's, you have the data and you have the story, and at the same time, that's why we're like heavily on Amazon. When you start your product, when you launch your products on Amazon, not only that, because all the requirements like your product should be retail ready, like the packaging, you would know if your product is good or not when you sell it on Amazon with the packaging. At the same time, they would there's a guidance like what your products look like, what should be on your packaging, and like Bong said, like your product should be ready for a big retail store. When you sell your products on Amazon, your product should have UPC code, like barcode. And if you have that, because once you launch your products on Amazon, and like like for a manufacturer, if your product's in Amazon and it's ready already, once like it launched and it capture a market, you could easily sell that to Whole Foods or Walmart. So to summarize this, if you are a manufacturer, explore Amazon, because from there you would learn a lot, like how to sell your products, how your products to be retail ready, and you have the data, the demographics of who buying your products are, and at the same time they have the review system that how could you improve really your products, because those reviews are genuine and or authentic, because their review are coming from really a buyer, not from somebody else. So I think that's my thing is, if you wanted to improve your products, if you're a manufacturer, try it in Amazon.
Perfect, perfect. I mean, I want to cap off what you said by just ending that comment by saying that yes, there's a lot of companies that are helping create awareness of Philippine products here in the U.S. But I think one of the things that I want to convey to everyone in the Philippines is that your company is able to give them sort of an autonomy when it comes to selling their products here. It's not like you're selling, you can teach them how to take advantage of the retail arbitrage of doing the arbitrage with Amazon and getting an idea of what's good and sort of empowering them. It's not like, you're doing it for them. It's what I'm trying to say. So that's what I like about what you and Ava have built in Florida, and hopefully we grow together in terms of creating more opportunity. Next, I'd like to go ahead and ask Mike to give me his perspective, because again, in the top of the show, top of the hour, you were talking about all the people that you dealt with. So now give us a little bit of a just something that would make people feel good, or at least have something to work towards, and how to make their product more attractive, Mike.
Oh, definitely. Thanks for that. I mean, I've presented to many buyers with Whole Foods and Sprouts and Mother's Markets and Kroger and CVS here. And the one most important denominator really that I would suggest Philippine manufacturers to really focus on is have a creative brief. Okay, so have a creative brief about your product and your company, the story, and why a retailer or a big distributor should carry your product. And then, because here's the thing, like it's easy to sell in really, like when I present a product and I like the labeling, it fits all the factors. What are you going to do for that retailer and distributor a year down the road? So once you're in, you want to stay in. So that's the most important thing, is have a creative brief, be very active. They expect manufacturers now to be very active in social media. So they will look at your Facebook, They will look at your LinkedIn. They will look at your Twitter, Instagram, because the world is already merging. So what these big retailers are looking for is like a manufacturer that is also committed to growing with them in their stores and not just depending on them to to turn their product, because it's a very harsh and competitive environment. Like you have the first 120 days to make an impression for your product to stay on their shelves, and that's how you drive it. Like you can create the buzz saying, oh, hey, we just got picked up by Whole Foods, it's arriving next year, so and so you want to create and drive that excitement. Why use customers should go to the Whole Food stores and get ready for your product. So that's the tip I would give after everyone else has given the suggestions of the shipping and the pricing and everything. The bottom line is, like, you as a manufacturer now, you're gonna need to create your own identity and presence to Kroger's customers, to Whole Foods customers, to Sprouts customers, to Walmart, and that's what will enable you to be with those retailers like 3, 4, 5 years down the road, because you don't want to be just a one shot wonder and gone after a year.
Mm.
No, I agree. Let me cap off the what you just said. I look at that as a company who needs to understand that, because what you said is somebody in my mind, I'm already imagining, Mike, they're already a big size company, and they don't realize is that getting themselves in the market is already an accomplishment, right? The second is obviously staying on there. But some of the small manufacturers that Emporium runs into, a lot of them have this notion that you send a sample and you're good to go. But it's not. It's like building your product again or your business again in the U.S. You need to give yourself some time, and I'm just being very real at the
Mhm.
moment. That's what you need to do. Your level of what you've accomplished is something that I aspire for all of the brands that we're connected with right now. But at the end of the day, I think most have to properly sell the idea to themselves that it's going to be a journey, but you need to take in consideration every little point of nugget, or every nugget that just was just given to all of you to sort of formulate in your mind and say, okay, and hence why we always say, okay, baby steps, because this is a lot to
Yes.
take. That's why we're doing it. So, Mike, thank you for that. Let me go ahead and ask May, and then we'll end it with Nancy. So, May, I know you do, you've done pop-up events. Those are the things that has worked for you. So,
Mm.
more like anything, my question is to you is that those pop-up events give them a perspective, the Philippine manufacturer, that this is what you've done to create awareness for the product, and
Yes.
what has been your victory, so to speak.
Yeah. Two things, no? My sort of like na can I speak Tagalog? Dapat dapat gawin ng mga manufacturers or companies from the Philippines that would like their products to be available here in the US. Unang-una, they should be ready, be export ready. Be ready with everything, their tawag dito, yung quantity of products that they can offer the buyers here in the US, all their paperworks that they need to have to be able to export here sa dito sa US, and all those even packaging, yung everybody mentioned about packaging, uh that it has also to be ready. Basta that's the first thing. They need to be ready para ma-market natin siya dito sa US. And then next is be present. Be present in social media, like what Mike mentioned. Be present in trade events. Be present in online markets like the one MJ has. Be present in those. Once you are ready with your product, be present on all those platforms as much as possible. That way, it will not be it will be easier for you to sell your products, not only in joining trade events, being present on all those that I mentioned, but also doing um, all those things that can expose or show their products to the world. So, and what works for me, doing those pop-up events, we're going towards hybrid events now, not just on site lang, but also virtual. I've seen trade events in the Philippines that are doing that already, but
Mhm.
still it's still not maximized per company. It should be per company participants in the those trade shows that needs to be highlighted. So I think mas maganda if we do that now. We start doing that. Yun yung naituro ng pandemic dun sa atin as marketing experts or world market leaders, or kung ano man whatever we are called.
No, I agree. Let me cap off what you just say, just so that reiterate again the message that you and I talk all the time. So, and the philosophy is more so like just be mindful of making sure that you do have a plan, you do make your products read with not only in the pricing but the packaging and being compliant. Do a lot of your homework, but at the same time, utilize all the different skills, skills technology to promote that, like what May was saying about virtual, the live selling that we're trying to do here in so many ways. It just depends on who you want to go after. If you listen to Mike, you listen to MJ, to listen to Ann, these are all different forms of selling the Philippine product. And is a retail store. MJ is an online retail store, and Matt and Mike is more like and among other things. And Nat is online also. So these are all just perspective on how to sell products. So let me see if Sal, are you still there? Maybe not. Nancy, do you want to say something really quick about selling products? I know that's not technically your forte, but you have spoken to a lot of manufacturers, so I'm sure some sort of feedback on what is a good advice that you can give to a Philippine manufacturer when it comes to selling.
Sure. The difference, everybody here is selling a product that's tangible. I am selling a product that is service. So between me and the next service provider, that's basically in the costing is what makes me different from the rest of who services you, for that matter. Here at RAF, I'm committed, and we work with the manufacturers here in the Philippines to help bring their products to the United States cost effectively, whether it be air or sea, whether it be a sample product or if you're already an experienced shipper, you're already present in the U.S. market. We work with you to get your products to the United States cost effectively. For those who are just starting out, we work we also work with giving them an air or an sea option, because those in the United States typically think that, you know how there is the alisbay, I mean the balikbayan service coming to the Philippines. You have a box, you pay a flat rate coming to the Philippines, right? So Philippines going to the United States, that service is not the same. There is no alisbayan service per se. So here at RAF in 2023, we worked with me and hopefully with emPHorium to come up with products to make it easy for our manufacturers to bring their products to the States. So with Ferdinand talking about the palletizing, and so per CBM, if a product is good to send via sea freight, for example, like you have the handicrafts, it's good to send those via sea freight. But if it's a food product, you wouldn't want to send it out via sea freight, but you want to send it by air freight. So we will send it we work with your numbers, so we're able to come up with a cost-effective solution and customize your shipping solutions.
Mhm.
Hey, Ferdinand, I'd like to add
Well,
one last tip.
Yeah. Go for it.
One last thing I get asked off a lot from the distributor buyers and the retailers is from a manufacturer is when you want to present your product to them and you send the samples, they are always asking for what we call your go-to market strategy for the US. So that's a tip that I wanted to give to everyone, that if you're planning to penetrate the US market and you believe you have a product that really qualifies to get into, like Whole Foods and Sprouts and Walmart, is prepare your go-to market strategy. Don't start scrambling when they start asking for it. Be ready with it.
Yeah. And just to add on to what that's exactly what I've been thinking about, because most of the people that I deal with, sometimes, I do my share of interviews with the manufacturer. Some of them don't have that. And I'm not insulting anybody. It's just that's the reality. It's just that they realize that the US market is huge, but you need to do that. And I feel like
Yep.
that's the reason why this ecosystem that we're trying to build to educate
Mhm.
manufacturers, because if you do that, then the hesitation and the fear sort of, dissipates a little bit. I mean,
Mhm.
there's always going to be fear when you're taking a risk about a new market. But I think that's, somebody once asked me, I go, why is there not more Philippine products in the US? And at that time, I just kept saying to myself, I think it's just because of education. I think it's just because of sort of ignorance on their part, that they don't want to research, or at that time I was asked, a lot of information wasn't available and we were trying to do all this stuff. So that's sort of like my soapbox kind of thing when I tell the Philippine manufacturers, hey, you just have to really do a little bit of research, get to talk to people like the people in this ecosystem,
Mhm.
and really understand if you're totally committed in doing that. So let me shut up at that point, and let me give everybody, I'm going to give everybody 30 seconds, like a goodbye kind of thing, or whatever nugget wisdom you want to add on. So let me go ahead and start with, so 30 seconds, guys. So let me start with MJ, and then I'll 30 seconds. Go ahead, MJ. If you want a parting comment, little nugget of wisdom, whatever you want to do.
Well, I guess like in doing all of this, let's all remember how we are impacting the Philippines in a good way. Always. Just as like my point as Shabundal, it is to try to help a more sustainable economic development or economic activities in the Philippines. So whenever we're dealing with all these, yes, the bottom line is always what we're after as entrepreneurs, but at the same time, let's be inspired by the social impact that we're actually creating in the Philippines as well.
Thank you, MJ. I appreciate that. That's very admirable and inspiring. I like that. How about you, Nat? You want a 30-second inspiration?
Yeah. So
Are you muted, Matt? Nat?
Oh, yeah. Is
You're
Mike?
muted now. Go ahead, Nat.
okay. Yep. Take two. So I just would like to encourage manufacturer that and to give an inspiration that today in today's a social media or an online age, right? And uh, it's easy to compete with big brands if you know how to do it. And the thing is, like Amazon, like where we pushing Amazon, because you could start a little capital and little risk, put your product out there, and then compete with the big brands using leverage Amazon social media, and whatever data the big brands have, you could get it in Amazon and use it and reverse engineering it to use on your advantage to compete those big brands. So, and if you need help, contact Ferdinand, reach out to us, and we could show you how to do it.
Yeah, I think with your company, you're going to be able to empower a lot of people from that perspective when it comes to data. you and Ava. So I look forward to working with you, as long with everybody on this live stream. Thank you so much for doing that. So let me go ahead and moving on to the 30-second thing. Let me go ahead to Anne. Any 30 seconds? I don't care what you want to say, except want to plug the sale for your store. I don't go ahead and do that. So it's your 30 seconds, Anne. Anne, are you still there? Or you're on mute just in case. Anne? Okay. Let's move on to the next one. I'll come back to Anne. How about you, Nancy? Any 30-second nugget that you want?
I want to say to the manufacturers, Philippine manufacturers, don't be afraid. I think for the most part, what scares them is the shipping cost, because you have a product, you love your product, you believe in it. Let's send it to the States. There are ways, cost-effective ways to send your product via air or via sea. Come talk to us, and we are very grateful for the opportunity to meet all of you, to meet emPHorium, and I'm so happy that there is a receiving party on the other end to work on and promote the Philippine-made products. I'm in a unique position here because I look for Filipino products, things that are uniquely Filipino. Ube liquor, have you heard of that? Is that already in America? So those kind of things. So I'm excited for what is to come in 2023.
Are you working on that ube liqueur, Nancy?
Yes, I am. It's actually behind me here. Yeah. So hopefully that'll will bring more products to the United States. And you got one?
Buyers
got
are
one.
looking.
I got
Buyers
one.
are looking.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's
So
what
it's there.
There we go.
Wonderful.
Drunk tonight. Yes.
All right. It's good
Yeah.
with
So yeah.
just on the rocks. Look at that. Excellent.
Nice.
Nice.
Telling you,
Yeah.
let's do a toast right now.
Wonderful.
Okay, so go ahead, Mike. Your 30 seconds.
Thank you, Bong. What I'd like to encourage the Philippine manufacturers is, especially if you're in the natural product space for like food and supplements, is to actually have the first time ever at Expo West a Philippine pavilion. Bong, Ferdinand, you've been to Expo West, and I'm sure you agree that, like if countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Taiwan have like a whole row for their countries, different products, why should we as a country only have maybe a smattering of one, two, three manufacturers spread out in little corners? Maybe
Yeah.
we can get the Department of Trade and Department of Agriculture to sponsor like a whole row of Philippine-made products. So Expo West, where the whole world comes to source natural products.
Speaking of natural products, I before we go to the last one, which is May or Sal, if he's still there. I got this from Negros, and you guys want to check it out. It's Batuan powder. I think it's rare here in the U.S. for Batuan. I don't know if you guys ever had that, but it's locally sourced in Negros. And I want to say to the Negro exporters, thank you for sending me the samples along with this other stuff that they brought, all consolidated by RAF, and then Lemoy. So let me go ahead and finish off with May. May, how about you? 30 seconds, please.
Yes. Thanks again, Ferdinand. I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you to you, Ferdinand, for always inviting me to be part of the emPHorium's discussion like this one. I just want to say to all those Philippine manufacturers who are really interested, or who wants their products to be marketed here in the US, um, to get in touch with us at the emPHorium, right, Ferdinand?
That's right.
This is
Can lead the
your
charge.
best venue to learn and to get all your resources, find out who can help you. There's Nancy here for shipping, and everybody here in this discussion, MJ and everyone else. We're all here to help you with your products. So, wag kayong mahiya, call us. Get in touch with the Emporium and we'll help you.
Mabuhay.
Yes.
Mabuhay.
I don't I don't want Ann to not say anything or Sal, so I don't know if Sal already left. But Ann, are you still there? I guess she's not there now. So you're my guys, my witness. I asked her. Anyway, I want to end the show by saying thank you to all of you because, like I said at the top of the hour, it gets tiring, because it's a big task. But I enjoy it because most of the time you're trying to create something that could be a changer in many ways. But I'm a big fan that no one guy or one company can do it all, because I think part of our culture sometimes that everybody wants to do their own thing, which is fine. I can respect that. But something like creating a platform that everybody's involved and giving perspectives and having to make it sustainable is probably a hard task to do. And I think that as long as the Philippines, what I'm hoping that things like this, they can see that there's some sort of unification of some sort. I don't mean it's a soapbox of some sort, but I feel like throughout the years that I've been doing this, I feel more of this sort of collaboration needs to take place so that they'll know. Then to me, that interprets to confidence, that they'll know that there's an entity or a group of people are willing to help, because it's not just, sort of helping for the sake of just helping. Obviously, everybody wants to make money doing what we're all trying to help. But at the end of the day, the one thing that I always say at the end of the show is always trying to create some sort of a livelihood for the Philippines, livelihood for us here, and also just forming the next level of promoting Philippine products, whether we're supported by different entities from the Philippines. At the end of the day, the difference between us, what we're doing here and in the Philippines, is that we're giving real-time, I'd like to think real-time data as far as how to sell the products here. I'd like to also acknowledge the fact that DTI and all the other groups or departments in the Philippines in exporting, they do a good job. But like I said, I'm confident that what I'm saying here is we're providing the real-time data of how to sell the products at the end of the day. So hopefully a lot more people are empowered by what you guys said. I'm just trying to sort of, facilitate what you guys are saying and capping it off. But at the end, you guys are the warriors, so to speak, in terms of getting it out there and getting that message. Again, thank you for being here and talking about it under the umbrella of emPHorium. So again, guys, I appreciate it. I will let you go at this point. So again, thank you so much, Raf, for giving me. I wanted to show all these other products, but at the end, we're done. So I want to say goodbye to Jiro. Thank you for responding. And then Marilyn Mondahar, she says that, can everyone post their website or contact info on chat, please? So Marilyn, I'm going to go ahead and have I'm going to post it. I'll even send you the information. Guys, email me your email address or whatever that you want Marilyn to be able to contact you guys if necessary. Again, this one is for Mike. She said, what makes a creative brief? Is it the company story, mission, vision, what the product is all about? Again, Giro, you can reach out to Mike also, and then check out this one message from Marilyn. Again, this is Marilyn Mondahar, Filipino Women's Network, based in Frisco. FWN is a nonprofit organization. Again, I love it because 2023, everybody's in preparation. So I think a lot of what you guys said has been critical and hopefully ignited certain things in people's mind to move ahead and try to go ahead and do a lot of the exporting, or at least consider it. Let me see if there was a private chat. Okay, Nat, thank you so much. Thank you again, everybody. All right, with that being said, I will let you guys all go and do my little goodbye to everybody. All right, so again, thank you for watching. We passed over an hour, but it doesn't matter. The reality was that I wish it was 2 or 3 hours.
That was fun. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
currently live in Emporium in the Philippines. I want to say magandang umaga ho sa inyo lahat. And for the people in the US watching this live at the Emporium, good evening, everybody. Thank you for taking the time.